Hello, and if you are so inclined, well then, welcome to another whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. It's good to have you back with me. This is review number 121, part 4 of my latest series, A Baker's Dozen. This is the second time round for the Baker's Dozen, looking at 13 12-year-old Scottish single malts, and it is the turn of a Highland slash Island, depending on what way you want to look at it. Tobermory 12 from the Isle of Mull there, owned by Distill. There's the basic facts. This was released. This is quite a here in 2021, late 2021. Still a relatively new release. This was released in 2019, replacing the 10-year-old, and it is matured in first fill ex bourbon casks, and I think there's virgin oak. I think there's a bit of a virgin oak thing going on there as well. It's bottled at Distill, that classic Distill number, 46.3%. Non-chill filtered, no colour added. Lovely. That's what we like to hear, isn't it? So yeah, there's the basic facts. Not an awful lot more to tell you. It's the Tobermory distillery there. I have reviewed a couple of the Lechics in the past. The Tobermory, which is the Tobermory peated expression. This, the non-peated expression from Tobermory. So don't expect peat. You'll not find it. Just diving straight in, it is, yeah. This, as you can see, I haven't actually, but in this short space of time, I've had a bit of a strange relationship with the Tobermory 12, in that it just did not excite me at first at all. I found I struggled with it probably until it reached the shoulder. I struggled with this bottling. Just couldn't find anything in it to excite me. Found it a little bland, found it a little boring, and I wasn't going to give up on it, but that was just an initial impression. Now, let's get back to now, shall we? And where we're at this current moment in time. Malty was the first thing I got, and it is still malty. Citrus, orange peel. There's a slightly sharp coating, initially reminiscent of varnish. But that is, I call it a coating because that's all it is, because it breaks down very quickly. And it releases this lovely, soft, fleshy, I'm going to say a stone fruit, peach, or nectarine. Yeah, very much so. And it's lovely. It is just, there's a lovely, delicate feel about this. Slightly floral, touches of honey. And weirdly, I said that I struggled at first, and a lot of what I struggled with was there just seemed to be an imbalance with it. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel as if it was terribly well made. And now I am totally opposite from that. It does feel completely balanced to me. All that lovely stone fruit, fleshy fruit, that maltiness, honey. Yeah, and as I say, that initially just was being a letdown. Now, very much not a letdown at all. You know, it's a prime whiskey to say patience is rewarding, and it just took me to be patient with it. And it even takes you to be patient with it in the glass. Let this settle, let it release, let it open up, let that coating of varnish dissipate, and you will start to get into all that lovely soft fleshy fruit. The citrusy stuff is still going on, and it's a very, very pleasant nose. Oh, lovely soft, slightly bittersweet arrival. Coats really well. It shows great promise, and that just carries through and carries on. It's a little floral, Parma violet, heather. All of that stone fruit is still there. There was that nice peach or nectarine, gentle, soft, fleshy fruit. The orange is still there. It continues to coat well. It continues to be nice and gently warming. Not hot, just nice and gently warming, 46.3%. It's not a powerful beast, but it plays right in that 46.3%, and it feels right in there in that 46.3%. And the longer you work at it, you start to find caramel and chocolate, and then it just fades out into a nice peppery zing. Here's one for you. And it really is pleasant. Finish is quite long. A lot of that soft fruit hangs through. A lot of that chocolate plays through into it. Goes a tad dry, but it is literally a tad. It's not, it doesn't ruin it by any means. I'm just going to add a couple of little drops of water just to see. It does take water, and I think it takes water fairly well, you know, but I wouldn't overdo it with it. Yeah, because the nose becomes much livelier. It's much, you know, more of that maltiness and more of that citrus. Then there's a sharper tang off it. You know, the fruit comes to life, and it just makes for a really, really pleasant nose once again. You know, nice without water, nicer again with it. Palate softer, obviously. You've diluted it. In diluting it, yes, you're releasing some of the flavour, but you're taking out, I generally find you're taking out some of that warmth or heat or burn or whatever way you want to call it, whatever, you know, whatever term you want to use. But this lends itself to softness, because all that soft fruit works well then when diluted, because it makes it feel softer along with the flavour. All the flavour remains in place, but it just softens down a little with the addition of water. Finish remains long-ish. Yeah, just, you know, play with it. It's a good whiskey to relax with. It's one to, it's not, I would say it's not overly, it's not coming down with, you know, notes and things that you want to, it's not necessarily one that you want to fight and oh, I have to find some, there has to be this, and oh, no, it's got this and that's got that. It's as good as there's complexity there. It's also well enough balanced that it would be a very, very good sipper at 46.3%. You could relax, enjoy a glass of this, and just not have to think about it. It's just good tasting whiskey. So look, it's another tick in the box for me for Tobermory Distillery. They haven't done any wrong in my eyes yet. I haven't tasted a bad one from there. There's the varying degrees of great to good. That's basically the way I would put it. So I would definitely recommend this. It's around the 35 to 40 pounds mark. For 12-year-old, 46.3%, non-chill filtered, no colour added. That's good. That's a good price. That's the price it should be. and I would buy it all day long at that price. So let's move on, shall we? Nom, 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 nom. Yeah, oh, lovely. Creaminess, that chocolate caramel and that soft fruit all work very well together. If you like this, what would I recommend? I struggled a bit with this one because it's, as I said, it's an easy sipper. It's not a complex beast, but there's enough going on. I had a bottle in mind, and then I actually changed my mind because I happened to look in my cabinet and seen another bottle that I thought, no, actually, it reminds me a bit of this. And it's this. Give these boys a go. Wolfburn. This one, the Northland. Bottle of 46%, non-chill filter, no colour added. And we, obviously, maturation differences. But, I mean, this, I imagine, is ex-bourbon cask from the colour of it. But they're both ex-bourbon cask and both naturally coloured. So I don't know whether it's overly active casks in play here, or that virgin oak, maybe it's just the fresh char, maybe causing it to go a little darker, but doesn't matter. Yeah, give Wolfburn a go if you haven't already done so. They're on the up, and this, I think, for the money, it's around the same price roughly, I think, as the Tobermory is a good example, the Northland. And just, it's once again, I would use the same words and say it's not overly complex. A nice, easy drinking whiskey to not have to think too much about. And sometimes that's really all I want. Sometimes it's nice just to sit down and not try and break it down and just say, yeah, look, let's just talk, shall we? The missus. Yeah, I don't know where I went down. That was down a rabbit hole there. I need to be very careful with that one. So yes, Tobermory 12-year-old. I would, yes, recommend it. I would. It is a good dram. So I think we'll just call that one and say that's done. I would like to thank you very much for joining me. As always, it's always a pleasure to be here for you and be here with you. I'd like to thank my patrons very, very much. If you wish to join that group, the details, as always, are below. Until the next time, my friends, here's to your good health. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.